Hello, folks. It's a bit amazing to me how often I'm, usually with my wife, and we're sitting there watching programs on TV, and it could be almost about anything, and someone will say something to the effect that through processes we don't fully understand, blah, 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 and by means that we don't fully understand yet, we have found blah, 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 and off they go. And it sounds like one of the most idiotic statements a person could make, because what do we fully understand? I would bet you throughout all of human history, there isn't one person that can claim legitimately, honestly, to fully understand anything. Think about that for a minute. You can pick up a rock and say, do I fully understand this rock? Fully would mean its history, what it's made of, why it's a rock and not a piece of bark, all these sorts of things, breaking it all the way down through its physical attributes and so on and so forth. I don't think there is or ever will be anything that we fully understand. With that in mind, I don't particularly enjoy being called an expert on this, or really good at that, or what have you, because there's always someone better at it than I am. And I know that. And I think that's actually a good reason why I'm not a preacher or a minister or a priest or anything like that, because I'd be standing up there at the pulpit preaching, knowing full well that there are people out there in that congregation that know more about this topic than I do, that have a greater understanding of spiritual matters than I do, that are holier than I am. I think that's a little intimidating. In fact, it kind of reminds me of that scene in, what movie was that? Bug's Life or something like that, where the grasshopper has the princess ant there, and she makes some comment, and he says, "Are you calling me stupid? Let's think about the logic of this. Do I look stupid to you?" And it's a very entertaining scene, because obviously he is stupid. But I think a lot of people that make these claims don't realize how idiotic that statement sounds. So I put up here on the board behind me, just go ask the expert. He ought to know. Well, if an expert is really an expert, then he understands that he's got limitations to his knowledge and insight, and a bit of humility ought to come into play here. And he ought to recognize that there could be, and is very likely to be, someone that knows more about this topic than he does, to go forward and express what he knows and what his opinions are is a good and valid thing, and we need that, and that's important. But also keep an element of humility in there, recognizing that there may be some key factor that you aren't aware of right now, that someone hasn't clued you in on, or something that you've forgotten, or what have you, that might shed greater light onto it and make you realize, oh my goodness, he's right. I'm going to take that one, give him the credit for it, and I will chalk that into my little storehouse of information, and keep that in mind hopefully in the future. This is partly why I don't like particularly class systems, that you're rich class, poor class, and such, and neither do I like castes, where you're born into this caste and this is your life. You never know where some great insight will come from, and if we want to bring into it the spiritual realm, then we never know exactly who or when God is not going to inspire someone to give us some little nugget of truth or insight that may actually turn our world upside down, or give us some profound information or insight into how things work. I don't think the world works so cut and dry that you can say, well, this is where you belong and this is where you must stay forever and ever, or at least while I encounter you. There's a very good chance that God in his mysterious workings will use the humblest of people to teach and inform and even inspire the greatest among us. So I think a little bit of humility goes a long ways towards being a true professional at whatever it is that you do. Well, thank you for hearing me out. God bless you all. Have a very good day.